Alright, so we're here today at Reeser Lake Campground, and as you can see, we got tons of snow. So, yeah, my cameraman's gonna shoot a snowball at me. Here you go, cameraman. Alright, so, yes, I got a cameraman now, so we're good. Like, we're rich, but we're not. Way far from it. Anyways, on today's video, we're going to do wax-covered jute, as in one of the pre-videos that I'd done. It's going to be wax-covered jute, covered in wax. I brought out some jute and we're going to cover it, and we're going to do an experiment with it just to show how adaptable it is for lighting fires, like the red wax colored jute with the brass snuffer on it from our last video. So we'll get that out and get that ready to go. As soon as we come back, we'll be ready to go. Today our materials are going to be wax. This is that wax that we had out on the one bushcrafting video out down in the old bushcrafting spot in town. And the jute that we're going to use, so this is the jute that we're going to use to cover. We're going to soak all this in wax and then let it dry. But the thing is to let it soak until you can almost squeeze the wax out of the jute. Once you can squeeze it, it's good to go. Then you know it's been infused with wax. We'll be right back.
So these are the fire pucks that we're going to use. They're nice and professionally made. We're going to be using these to fire up the thing that we used on the last video.
We're going to use it to fire up the pot that we used on the last video, and this was the pot from the video down in our bushcrafting area. And we're going to use the pucks.
As you can see, it's very blue, very nice, very cool. Put the puck down here. You light it.
And then we're going to use the heat from that to burn the wax, to melt the wax that we have there.
I have a little bucket full of these wax things.
Yep.
Very nice.
You can go ahead and get those into the pot, please, my assistant.
A lot more. Professional wax, totally. And this big chunk.
No, the big chunk
does not
if we need it for extra.
Emergency stash.
Emergency stash.
Emergency stash.
All right. When we get back with you guys, we are going to get the fire lit, and then we're going to start melting our wax for the jute.
Yes.
All right. So I have my assistant here, Mike, and he's going to be starting the fire today. All right, so my assistant got the fire started. Good job, thank you. Now we're gonna get the pot on the flames and get the wax in the pot, if you don't mind. Oh, my assistant, not yet. Go ahead, get the third on there. And we'll use the heat from our wax fire pucks that we made in one of our last videos to heat up the old teapot, the old tea kettle, or the coffee kettle, and start melting them. I was surprised to come out here today and see as much snow as we got. We got quite a bit more than I was anticipating. Out here, they must have got about, I'd say 30 centimeters. Of snow, at least. And some of it has melted, but yeah, the getting back into the backcountry campgrounds is no longer a go, so. But that's okay though. There's always next. All right, and we have our stir stick to stir our pot. Get our wax stirred up there. So the wax is already starting to melt inside the pot. So we're good on that. So I'll get you guys a picture of the inside of the pot. You guys can see down inside there, it's already starting to get saucy, which is good. And today, this is my fine assistant, my son. He's with me today out on this wonderful adventure. What do you think?
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. I agree.
Yeah.
It's good times.
Very cool.
All right. And then when we come back, we'll come back in a little bit here and we'll have more of the wax just about ready and melted, and we'll get the jute in for you guys. All right. We have my fine assistant over here. I'm Dr. Frankenstein, and this is my assistant, Igor. It is a monster. It's all right, we're doing good. We got this on the go, and the wax is melting just great in there. As you can see it in there. Starting to wax, starting to melt. All right, so having a look inside the pot. So I have the light on, you can see it in there. Starting to melt. That'll be perfect, because that jute will absolutely love it in there. It's melting. While that's cooking, or melting, we'll have a little look around the old Reeser Lake campground here. Yeah, there's much more snow than I had anticipated out here for this time of the year, but it's not uncommon because elk water is approximately 700 to 1500 meters higher than Medicine Hat. So you're up pretty high here, which means you'll get colder weather faster. And the back roads are usually shut down, but this year for some reason the back road out to Battle Creek is still open, but it's definitely a no-go for my vehicle. I had looked at it and I'm like, but yeah, not a chance, not this year. And it's about 1:45 p.m. Hey, how's it going over there?
Good.
All right. Yeah, so it's this Reeser Lake campground back here. This is the same campground I did on the Reeser Lake video when there was no snow and the leaves were still falling off of the trees. All right, we'll bring you right back to the waxing. All right, we're back. Our wax is fully melted and our wax puck is still burning. So it's been about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. But my assistant's going to go ahead and he's going to drop the jute inside the wax. So just lower it in. All right. And what we're going to do is we're going to get our stick and make sure that the jute is completely soaked. We had a little red squirrel come right up to us earlier too, eh? He came out and he's like, chirp, 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 chirp. Like he hadn't seen anybody or talked to anybody all fall and end of the summer long, and he was just so excited to see us. He loved it. Yep, get it all under there. Yep, that's good. Very good. Stir up the pot, you go. Stir up the pot. Okay. So while he's stirring up the pot, when we come back, we'll be getting ready to take the jute out and hang it to dry. And we'll get back with you guys when we're ready to do that. When we come back to waxing with Michael. All right, so we're back. We're back with waxing with my son, and today we are getting the jute inside, completely wax covered. So while we're doing that, which is fun, and then we're just gonna let it hang, and while it's hanging to dry, it'll dry for probably a good hour or so or whatever, and then we'll give it our crack experiment and we'll show you guys that it'll work. Okay, so we are back. This is our wax jute. Here. It's not hot, just surprised me there. So this is our wax jute. We got about 8 feet, or wax jute. We got about 8 feet of it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just let this hang over top of a branch to dry, or to cure, I guess you could put it. All right. If my assistant will follow me, we will go over here.
Oh, there goes the...
We'll find a wonderful branch, which I found one right here. Perfect. Right up there. There, and we'll let that dry. So here's where we're gonna let our jute dry out, and you can feel it already starting to cure. Wax gets on your fingers. All right, so up over here we have our wax covered jute. So it's pretty stiff, as you can see. It's like an ant's antennae. Well, floppy ant's antennae. So we have our wax covered jute. It's fully cured, as you can see here in the picture, or in the video here, that it is fully cured. And it's ready to be trimmed into segments. And then once it's trimmed into segments, you can stick it in your survival storage kit. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a test on it. I'll get the ferro rod out, just like that other jute, and we'll give it a shot. But in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll do a couple of tests. So we're going to cut a section of it off right about here. So here we go. Sorry, I was just checking my assistant to make sure he's good. Cut a little section off there. So then we have our end, and inside you can see that it is fully waxed all the way through. So the jute fully absorbed all of the wax. So it's, to me, a successful bushcrafted jute rope out in the bush, which is nice. Well, I wouldn't say bushcrafted, but crafted out in the bush. So I guess bushcrafted. So that's going to be our jute experiment, and we're going to do a couple of more experiments with this jute. We're going to test it for waterproofness, for cold weather, because we'll just like take one and into the snow, and we'll let that sit there for about 10-15 minutes out in the snow, or however long. And then we have some water running way over there. Over there, there's some water running, so if my assistant would like to follow me, we'll cut off another piece of the jute. Get that cut into another, let's go a little bit longer than that one. Cut this one into another length. And we're gonna go do our waterproofing test. All right, so we're gonna go just over here. And we have a water spigot that's been open for, I don't know, since the last time I was here in the last video. So we'll go back over there and get some water in it. See, I can do it too. So here we have our, you can see way better, nice sunshine out. Our wax is coated all the way through. We're gonna give it a run in the tap over there. AC Glacier. Right. We're gonna drop it in the water. fully soaked. And then what we'll do is we're going to take this one back to the site where we're at and see if it'll light. Okay, so we're back. We got the jute that was completely soaked in the water. This was the jute that we had just soaked over there in the tap. Literally a 2-second walk over to here. So here's where we're gonna give it a shot. We're gonna do it on top of the coffee kettle. So we're just gonna take our knife like we would with any other kind of jute. We're just gonna take the back of it and rough it up. We could use our fingers too and rough it up. All right, we're gonna drop a spark down on that and we're gonna see if that'll light after being completely covered in wax and then being soaked under the water. This is just more of an experiment to show you guys that I know I'm confident in my skills that oh, that wasn't part of the plan, but it's okay. Okay. Hey, we're gonna move to the other spot. We're gonna move over to a table that's over here. I have some wood out. It's just a little bit better of a reach, so I know it's not going to be all over the place, and then I can actually get it on there without it tipping over, so that we can drop a spark on it. And by the way, I did a little more research on the ferro rod. The temperatures get up to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. There it is. So it's like the red jute. The red jute that I have is, I make it a little more finer than that. That was actually, so give it a shot there. Drop a spark on it. There we go. Oop. Making a fool out of me, eh? Okay, so just with a little bit of repositioning here and fining it up like that other jute. It's not that it's wet. These fibers aren't wet at all, even though it was completely soaked. They're not at all wet. There it is. So there's your survival fire and your lighter for fires. You could chop it into chunks and you drop that in your little bird's nest that we were talking about on one of our last videos. And then, you know, you could use a bird's nest or a whole bunch of these type of twigs where, you know, it's catches. And because it's wax covered jute, it burns at a hotter temperature than if it was super easy once you get your little piles going. And we'll actually use this to light our fire later. But so we'll add that to our fire lighting, and that was completely soaked in the water. This was the piece that we had used. Now the other piece is in the snow somewhere. I don't know exactly where it is. So, and that'll burn for quite some time, you know, to light your fires. But I don't have the brass snuffers yet. I am going to buy some brass snuffers for the jute itself. But like I said, I'm not too worried about that catching fire in anything that I have, because then I'm gonna let that cool. So we're gonna go for a little walk, and I think we're gonna go try to find our jute that we lost. I threw it over my head, so it's like winning the lottery. All right, there, camera guy. We were back over here. There it is. Right there. In the snow. There it is in the snow. We have it. And we're gonna pull it out of the snow so you guys can see that that snow is cold. and we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna drop a spark on, and we're gonna drop a spark on it, and we'll have this going as well. So this was in the snow and the cold, so we're doing cold and wet tests with our wax covered jute. All right, so this was the one that we had just lit. This was the one that was in the snow. We're gonna give it the old rough it up. This is what you do with the jute anyways, like the red survival jute that I had showed you guys in the one video. This is the stuff that was sitting in the snow, and it's still very cold to the touch. And we'll drop a spark down on this. There it is. So, and from it being in the snow and being left in the snow, you could leave this stuff outside for however long you want in actually any kind of temperatures. And as long as you have your ferro rod, because that ferro rod gets up to 5,000 degree sparks, it'll light just about anything. So there's another experiment from it being in the snow. So what I want to say is a huge shout out to my assistant, my son, Michael.
Yay.
Thank you so much for your help today in all of the videos and with your camera work. Appreciate it. It was great to finally get out and do a video with you.
Yep. It's cold outside.
It's a little bit chilly outside. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get a fire going so that we can get a little less chillier. And then we have a dinner that we're going to cook. So until next time, we're going to say bye from the boys, and on the next video, which will be coming out here in probably about a week or so, or a few days, we're gonna do another video, and my son will also be my assistant and my handsome cameraman. All right, until next time, guys, I bid you adieu and ciao from Reeser Lake.